everybody. How are you guys doing on today? I am super duper excited because we are hanging out with award winning author Dana Mentink on today. She has a new one that is hot off the press. It is called Raging Waters as well. And of course, guys, in just a bit, she's going to introduce herself to us and her new book, which is a part of a series. This is book two in this particular series as well. But you guys know what to do. Like, tag, and share. Tell a friend to tell a friend to come on down to the cafe because we're hanging out with Dana Mentink on today. And of course, guys, if you have not read the book already, we're going to be sharing some good things with you that it will be on the edge of your seat, that you'll be ready to add it to your TBR list. Dana, welcome to the cafe, my friend. And
Well,
how we
thank
do it
you.
here, I'm going
Thank
to
you.
allow you to introduce yourself.
All right. Well, I'm Dana Mentink, as you heard in that lovely introduction. I'm a author here in Northern California. Been writing for a really long time. I might write mostly suspense novels. I write some mystery as well. So really thrilled to be here and to be talking with you, Angela.
I love that. I love that. Now, Dana, I'm glad that you mentioned that you've written a lot of books and that you write suspense, all of that good stuff. And I want to find out from you, Dana, what is it about the suspense novels that you enjoy writing?
I think I just really admire and I enjoy that vicarious thrill about, surviving against a killer and circumstances, because really in real life, I have no practical life skills at all. So I like to just read about these amazing circumstances and I like to be surprised. And you get to do that a lot in a suspense novel.
I love that. And for me, Dana, bonus when it's a romantic suspense. I mean, I love suspense as well, but I'm like, oh my goodness, I feel like I get the best of both worlds when it's a romantic suspense novel. But I want to ask you a little bit about your new book, Raging Waters. And I know that's a part of a series, but for this book, book two, what was that spark or that first moment, or was it one of the characters that you knew that this was the next book in the series, Raging Waters?
Well, Gideon is the hero of the second book, and he's distantly related to Colin, the hero of the first. And as I was writing the first book, I just kept thinking, wow, wouldn't it be really cool if he had some sort of relative that was a survival expert, like a SEER training, Air Force trainer? And he just kind of like popped in there a little bit, and I thought, well,
Yeah.
we've got to go look at him a little bit deeper in book two. So that was really fun.
I love that. I love that. And Dana, before we get into Raging Waters, for those who may be new to this series, can you share with us a little bit about what inspired this series as a whole? And if you could share a little bit about book one, just in case if they're just coming to the series.
Sure. Actually, I'll show you the cover of book one. This is Fire Mountain. That was book
Yeah.
one, and this is Raging Waters, book two. And what they primarily have in common is they're both wilderness survival stories. I really enjoy writing that. I can't imagine how people survive in the wilderness under extreme
Yeah.
circumstances. In this one, there's a volcano erupting, and they have this baby who is not their baby, but they have to somehow, the area has been evacuated and they have to survive with this baby. And there's all kinds of people trying to kill them and a volcano. And I mean to say, so, and this one is a flood, a flood devastated town. There's a dam failure. So it's the same kind of a how do you survive in extreme
Yeah,
circumstances?
definitely.
Yeah,
How did you survive?
right. Or how do I think they would survive?
Right, right. And Dana, let me just tell you one of the things that I enjoyed about this is the pacing. I mean, you jump right in with the action. Okay, I love that. And for you, what is that like for you? Like when you're writing these stories, because I was like, man, I was like, the action starts right away.
Well, I've written a lot of shorter books, like 60,000 words. So you
Okay.
really have to bring it on the pacing there. There's no extra words, you can't dilly dally around in description and such. So I guess I like to surprise myself And if I'm not surprised and interested in what's going to happen next, I figure the reader isn't either. So that just kind of drives the pace a little bit. And it helps when, the environment is trying to kill you too. That's a natural built-in ticking clock, I think.
Exactly, exactly. Now, this story, Raging on Waters, it sits at the intersection of so many things. It's at the intersection of guilt and grief and justice. For you, what's an emotional truth, or what emotional truth were you most interested in exploring throughout for Mackenzie and Gideon? Because they was kind of dealing with those things, dealing with grief and guilt and justice,
Mhm.
as well for the death of her brother. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, that was an interesting journey to write because in the beginning, Mackenzie thinks that she is motivated by justice, that this will be the
Mhm.
thing. If she could deliver justice for her brother's murder, then that is the thing that she is striving for and hanging on to, and that's her whole identity. And as the book progresses, she begins to think about a different way of looking at what is her life's purpose and what would it be like if you got that justice and what would it be like
Mhm.
if you didn't, and kind of an exploration of that.
Yeah, yeah. Now let me ask you this. When you think about the title, and we're going to talk about that. I have several questions about the title. The first question about the title, Raging Waters. Dana, if you could spill a little tea for us, was that your original working title or did it come later?
I don't think it was my original title, and the reason why is because in our area we have a water park named
Mhm.
Raging Waters.
Okay.
And I couldn't think of like that as a suspense title when it's a fun place to take your kids.
Right, right.
So I think somewhere along the way, I can't remember if we compromised on that or if somebody suggested that to me, but somehow it stuck. So that is what it is. It sounds kind of like, when you get a new sparkling water to drink, it sounds
Uh-huh.
like it could be the brand. Try Raging Waters, you're going to
Try
love it.
Raging Waters.
So it'll put some pep in your step, something like that.
Well,
So
Dana, speaking of Raging Waters, okay, because it throughout the book, the idea of Raging Waters is kind of twofold. It's like literally raging waters. There's some things going on that's literally raging waters, but then also metaphorically, because how did you weave the physical flood and the emotional flood together as a parallel force?
tricky, right? I think sometimes emotions are so strong,
Yeah.
especially when you're talking about grief, that they
Mhm.
can roll right over you just like a wave. And it's been described to me, people have talked to me about grief as a wave. It
Mm.
hits you unexpectedly. You think you've dealt with the loss, and then all of a sudden, some small thing just bowls you right over a memory of that person and such.
Yeah.
So I do think there's a lot of parallel between out of control water and out of control grief.
Ooh,
Yeah.
oh wow, wow. Thank you for sharing that with us as well. Now, let's talk about these characters a little bit. Oh my goodness. So you have Gideon, that's one of the main characters in here, and you have Mackenzie. When you think about, we're going to talk about them a little more in just a bit, but when you think about the characters who make up Raging Waters, is there a character, Dana, that was like interesting, borderline fun for Dana to write? But on the flip side, is there a character in this story that was a little more complex? Can you share a little bit about that with us?
Well, I think interestingly, one of the characters that interested me quite a bit is the baby. Oh, I'm sorry, wrong story. I got my stories mixed up. Is the Hold on a second. Wait a minute. Let me think. See now, that's what happens when I start talking about both books at once. I got to think about that. Oh, well, see if I tell you about the woman I'm thinking of, it's going to give away a plot twist. But suffice it to say that I guess you're going to find out some things about her brother
Mhm.
and related people
Yeah.
that will be surprising. And he was challenging because he's dead. You know, he
Yeah.
he's dead throughout the whole novel. So it's
Mhm.
basically his sister seeing him differently as
Yeah.
she gets different information and as she sees him through other people's eyes and watching her change her opinion of this character. So
Yeah.
that was kind of a
Wow.
challenge, I guess. Now I got
Now
the
I
right book
want
we're
to
talking
ask
about.
you. I want to ask you this, and thank you for sharing that. So, guys, she spilled some tea, just a little bit, just so you can be, just a little bit there. But when you think about Mackenzie, if you had to describe her character for us, what can you tell us about Mackenzie's character?
She is very determined, but she has a very black and white sense of right and wrong, of morality and
Yes.
immorality. And that's gonna be a challenge when you have just a really rigid worldview because she has to come face to face with things that are not, jiving with that worldview, as we all
Yeah.
do, right? We
Yeah.
come across things in the world that we just are that doesn't fit in with what I think and what I believe and what I've thought all my life.
Yeah.
So, in a way, it's just a painful growing up thing we all have to do, but hers is a bit more dramatic, of course.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, um, for Gideon, what can you share about his character?
Oh, gee, I really liked him. I really, really liked him.
Gideon too.
He's one of these fellas who's has a deep sense of integrity,
Mhm.
and even though things kind of conspire against him and circumstances keep conspiring against the guy, he's just one of these people that tries to do the right thing, um, even when it costs him dearly.
Yes,
You know,
yes,
you
I
gotta
would
love,
definitely
you gotta,
agree.
yeah, you
I
gotta
would
love a
definitely
guy like
agree. Now, you talked a little bit about her brother, and I love how he also, even though he isn't there anymore because he's been murdered, how he still shows up on the page, and you still paint the picture of him, or what have you. But when you think of the characters, again, we're going back to all the characters that make up Raging Waters. Is there a character, if you can spill some tea, is there a character that surprised you, like the way that they showed up on the page? Like you was thinking one way and they was like, no, no, we're going another way. Can you share that if there was a character that surprised you when they showed up?
Well, again, I cannot tell you too many things because it's gonna spoil some things.
I'm trying, guys. I'm trying to get you
Uh,
to read. She's getting as much as she can. But
I
guess what? We want you to read the book. So some of these things where
right.
she's like, can't give
I
you too much,
I
I'm
would
ready for you
say
guys to read
I
it.
would say that the villain surprised me in some ways that are almost sympathetic. You can sympathize with the
Really?
villain in one tiny way, which I can't tell you why
Wow.
because that would spoil it.
But Dana, that is some tea
There you
because
go.
that character, I mean, to know that that's the character that showed up and surprised you in a way. So, yeah, that's tea. That is tea. I love that. I love that. Now, this book, Gideon, he kind of carries like guilt of his own, what have you,
Mhm.
but not for the same reasons that Mackenzie assumes, or what have you. So, how did you approach writing a hero who's both protective and emotionally guarded?
Mhm. Well, I mean, it's not easy, but I think the key point is that they need to evolve over the course of the book. You know, they can
Yeah,
be quite guarded in the beginning, which they both are because they're not either one of them telling the whole truth.
right.
And they evolve. And that's the beauty of a wilderness survival story because you don't have time to be shenanigans, right? If that's a word, I don't think it is, but you know what I mean? Like we don't have time to be coy and we don't
Yeah,
have time to you know, tiptoe around people's feelings. This is like real reality survival. We gotta be completely transparent. So I think
yeah,
it's a little easier to come to a little bit of an evolution there quicker when you're, in the middle of a flood and paddling
yeah.
hard.
Now let's go back to Mackenzie a little bit, because she has this podcast. Her podcast is driven by grief, is driven by guilt, and is driven by her fierce need for some answers. Okay, but for you, what do you want readers to understand about her heart beneath her toughness.
Hmm. Well, don't you think that, I don't know, I think about this, Angela, but don't you think that people really, one of the struggles here on earth is that we don't get justice? Like,
Mm,
sometimes we get, people are punished for wrongdoing and all that, but our hearts really long for justice, the kind of
mm-hmm.
justice that only God can deliver. And
Yeah,
we don't get that.
yeah,
So
yeah,
I think it's sort of a topic that a lot of people can relate to, because we know there's so many things wrong and so many injustices and so many things that just aren't right here on planet Earth. And
yeah,
sometimes we get a little bit of justice, but we never get
yeah.
that perfect justice. So I think that makes her quite a sympathetic character, because she really just wants that perfect justice that she's not going to get.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Right.
Now, I want to ask you this because still dealing with this podcast of hers, this podcast put her in some real danger.
Right. Yes, she was not wise about it. And she would often have to kind of slither down some cyber alleys and things that made her feel bad about what she was doing, but she just continued it for this vengeance, this effort at
Yeah,
vengeance.
yeah.
Yeah.
And for you, Dana, it kind of, if we can kind of dwell on that a little bit more, I'm interested to know what inspired you to explore the risk of kind of like her amateur investigations and true crime culture. Like, what inspired you to kind of add that piece in there?
It's certainly a fascination for people, isn't it? True crime. It's very fascinating to
Yeah,
folks. And, I mean, we're all riveted right now with that poor woman who's missing, right? The grandma who got snatched. I mean,
yeah.
and it can almost be, I'd say, an unhealthy obsession, right? Because these are people's lives, yet it's also entertainment.
Mhm.
And so I wanted to just take a look at that with the social media culture we've got. We just crave the entertainment part of it, but we forget, that's a person's life on the other end, and it
Mhm.
is not resolved for them. Their loved one is missing, or their loved one was killed, and there is no justice for that. And what does that feel like? And this was just an interesting topic to explore, especially in this day and age, I felt.
Yeah, yeah. Now, Dana, we're going to switch gears a little bit here, my friend. I'm
Okay.
going to give you three words, and I want for you to share with us what's the first thing that comes to mind when you hear these three words collectively. Okay. So,
Okay.
grief, redemption, second chances. Grief, redemption, second chances. What comes to mind for Dana?
Well, I'm going to have to go with Jesus, because
Okay.
he is the one who enables us to grieve and have
Mhm.
a second chance. And he
Okay.
redeems us. So I'm going
Yeah.
to go with Jesus. He's always the right answer,
Yeah.
Angela.
Always.
No
Okay.
matter what the
Three
question is.
three more words. Same
Okay.
thing. Give me the
Okay.
first thing that comes to mind.
Okay.
Faith,
I'm sorry?
hope,
Okay.
faith,
Uh-huh.
hope, more courage. Faith, hope, and moral courage.
Faith, hope, and moral courage.
What comes to mind?
Well, I'd say hero. That's the definition of
Ooh.
a hero, isn't it?
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would say so.
Now, I want to ask you this, okay? So, for both Mackenzie and Gideon, they are to a degree, they're shaped by the loss of Aaron. And Aaron, guys, is Mackenzie's brother, and he was Gideon's a close friend, best friend. He was a best friend to Gideon. But for you, how did you approach writing their grief from two different angles? Because they both were kind of dealing with grief from two different angles. How did
Mhm.
you do that for their characters?
Well, that was actually fun, because you can have one person and see how dramatically differently two people interact with that person and see that
Yeah.
person. So Gideon had a very a difficult situation with Aaron in high school,
Mhm.
and he kind of had a growing up relationship that was fractured with Aaron.
Yeah.
And Mackenzie has sort of a hero worship, right? It's her brother. She can't see anything wrong that he would ever
Yeah.
do, right? So she's blinded a little bit. And that was just interesting to have two different perspectives on one person and kind of, as the novel progresses, find out, well, what was the truth about Aaron?
Oh, wow. Yeah. Yeah. Guys, if you're just joining us, we are hanging out with Dana Mentink on today. She is sharing about her hot off the press, a new release. It is called Raging Waters. We'll be sharing with you in just a bit how you can get your hands on a copy of Raging Waters. And coming up very, very soon, Dana is going to share just a snippet, a little short snippet of a little bit of Raging Waters as well. But before she reads the short snippet, I want to ask her this. How did you deal with writing characters who are wounded but still capable of choosing love?
Mm. Well, I just love that because that's us, right? We're all wounded and we have a choice to
Hmm.
continue to love
Yeah,
or to
yeah,
become bitter, right? And God calls us to continue to love.
yeah,
So
yeah.
it's that same painful process we go through in real life, you know?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, guys, get ready. Hold on to your seats because Dana is getting ready to share a little bit of Raging Waters. Dana, we are ready when you are. I'm going to allow you, if you want to kind of set the scene or set the tone for us, and then you can
Okay.
start reading. We're ready when you are.
Okay. Well, I'll just give you a little bit right from the beginning. Chapter
Okay.
1. This is how we meet Gideon, our hero. As he dodged a skull-splitting kick to his temple, Gideon Landry wondered again if this side hustle was going to pan out. His legs ached from fighting the current, and the cold water sapped his strength like a leech on an open wound. Isn't being an Air Force SEER instructor enough for you, Gid? No, he had to go and set himself up to teach civilian classes during his precious leap time in a backwater nowhere of northern Washington during torrential rains, with most of his class bailing at the last minute. Why hadn't he just canceled the whole thing like a sane person? Because his service days were numbered and that was his exit strategy he'd come up with for a variety of reasons. Why should he let a weather calamity put the kibosh on his early preparations? Man against nature. He always thought he'd win. Perhaps that's why his brothers never wanted to go camping with him. Little bit
Y'all,
from the
that
beginning.
is Raging Waters. We'll be sharing with you in just a bit how you can get your hands on a copy of Raging Waters by Dana Mentink as well. And of course, Dana, we are going to do a little bit of a rapid fire. I'm going to either say a word or a phrase or give you instructions, and then you just follow based on that. And of course, it is Raging Waters edition of this rapid fire.
Okay.
Mackenzie, in one word.
Volatile.
Ooh, okay. One thing Mackenzie would absolutely pack for a dangerous lead.
Absolutely pack for a dangerous lead. Well, I'd say definitely, some sort of protection in terms of mace, pepper spray,
Okay.
taser, something along those lines.
Okay.
She was almost a police officer, so she's pretty comfortable with.
Yes, yes. Now, Dana, first word that comes to mind when you think of Gideon.
Tender.
Ooh, okay. Okay. All right, almost done here. One word for their journey. One word for Gideon and Mackenzie's journey.
Harrowing.
Ooh, okay. Oh, this is a good one, and you may spill a little tea. One word for the ending of the book. One word.
Surprising.
Oh, okay, okay. Dana, we're gonna switch it up a little bit here, my friend. We're gonna play a round of this or that. I promise you, there's no right or wrong answer because it's all things according to you, my friend. But there is a twist. It's this or that. Raging Waters edition. Are you ready?
Okay, I am ready. I am
Okay.
ready.
First up, Raging Waters or raging emotions?
Raging waters.
Okay. Truth seeking or danger chasing?
Truth seeking.
Okay. Following the lead or trusting your gut?
Following the lead.
Okay. Protective hero or feelings confessed?
Feelings confessed.
Ooh, okay. Saving the town or saving each other?
Saving each other.
Okay, okay. Now, this is kind of a little bonus, and it's a focused on Mackenzie and Gideon, but it's still this or that. So, Mackenzie, this or that. Leap first or think first?
Leap first.
Yes,
Yeah.
I leap first.
That's why she's
Okay.
always in trouble.
Yes. Okay. Gideon, protect her or push her away? Protect her or push her away?
Protect her.
Okay. Now, this is like for both of them together. Mackenzie's stubbornness or Gideon's silence?
Mackenzie's stubbornness.
Ooh, okay. Oh my goodness. And thank you so much, Dana, for hanging out with me today. Let me just tell you, the time goes by so fast, and I've had an
Yes.
amazing time
Me too.
hanging out with you on today, talking about your new release, Raging Waters. But before there is a giveaway, but I do want to ask you this question. What did you enjoy about writing book 2 in this series, Raging Waters?
I really enjoyed researching how they teach at the SEER survival schools
Yeah.
because they know amazing tricks to survive wild encounters that I would never, ever in a million years think up.
Wow.
So I had a
Wow.
big Air Force handbook and I read that thing and I know more about how to eat a praying mantis than I ever want to know. I'll tell you what.
Wow. Wow. Thank you for sharing that with us as well. And Dana, before we go to share with them what our giveaway is going to be, and I'm going to get you to help me with selecting the winner of the giveaway. We didn't talk about the covers, and I think you have both books with you. If you can kind of hold those up, tell us a little bit about those covers and what that was like for you when you saw the final covers for both books.
Well, I think Revell does a beautiful job with the covers. I really do. Beautiful, colors. I love this one because she's running away from the cover, running away from the perspective. I enjoy that. So I just think they did a heck of a job, and I can't take any credit because all I did was, give a few little thoughts and comments. But they have a great art department who made it happen. So kudos to them.
Nice. And they're nice covers, by the way. And again, I love the covers. If you want to hold up Raging Waters again, I love the covers, the colors of both of the books, guys. Both of the books for her series as well. And of course, guys, we do have a giveaway. Her publishing company, they are the sponsors of the giveaway, and they are giving away a print copy of Raging Waters. And so, Dana, I'm going to get you to help me, my friend. I'm going to go up and down the comment sections. You're going to tell me when to stop, my friend, and then that person will be the winner for this particular book or copy of Raging Waters. All right. I am ready when you are. And if you will tell me when to
and stop.
Okay. Myra Cook, she said, this is a very interesting book. I like. Myra, you are the winner, my friend. If you will inbox me your information, we will get that to her publishing company, and they will get you out a copy of Raging Waters. We thank you for joining us on today. That is our show, guys. We've had an amazing time hanging out with Dana Mentink on today, talking about her new release, Raging Waters. It is available. And of course, guys, when you read it, definitely leave Dana a review. I know that she will be so appreciative of that as well. And of course, Dana, please share with them, how can they get their hands on a copy of Raging Waters?
Well, the usual places. You got your Amazon and Barnes and Noble and Books a Million and online. I think it's a audiobook as well, so you can get it
Mhm.
in Kindle, print, and audiobook, whatever your format you prefer.
I love that. And Dana, we will also be putting in the comment section as well how they can get their hands on a copy of Raging Waters as well. And of course, Dana, my friend, share with us how can we stay connected with you?
Well, I'd love to see you in my newsletter family. I do a little video every month for my peeps that only is for my peeps and fun giveaways. You can get that through my website. And Instagram, if you like to see just shenanigans, as well, I can say over there, not a lot of serious stuff going on, a lot of silliness, but I have a great time. So I'm on Dana Mentink on Instagram. So would love to see you in both places.
I love that. I love that. And of course, my friend Dana, guys, stay connected with her. Get a copy of Raging Waters. Leave a review if you see it out in the bookstores or what have you. Take a picture, tag and post. Tell a friend to get them a copy of Raging Waters book club. It is a great book for you guys to read. Lots of things to discuss. Let me just tell you, it is fast paced. It is action packed. It's romantic suspense. Need we say more? Get you a copy of Raging Waters. And of course, Dana, my friend, we have to allow you the last words of what you want to say to the people tonight.
Well, I sure do appreciate the time to be here. Not, we are nothing without our readers. And I have the
Mhm.
most lovely, lovely readers, and you just bless my socks off. So thank you for tuning in and just letting me chat about books for tonight. I just really, really appreciate that.
I love that. I love that. There you have it, guys. Raging Waters by Dana Mentink. It is available now. Get you a copy and be sure to tell a friend to tell a friend. And one more time, make sure you stay connected with Dana. Go to her website, subscribe to her newsletter, follow her on social media, all the things. That's our show on today, guys. And as we always say here at the cafe, have an amazing day because Dana and I, we're having an amazing day. And until next time, guys, we'll see you later. Get you a copy of Raging Waters. Bye bye.